When a time where there's great cynicism, does that not give you hope? When people think that we're bereft of solutions in society and there's all this cynicism and division and hate mongering, I mean, just listen to these kids and you say to yourself, that's not what we need to focus on. This is what we need to focus on, what they're saying. So I'm coming back with the kind of political hat of having lived within the halls of power. And I think to myself, if we're going to build a movement, we need to build an agenda that addresses all the subjects that you heard today. Addresses the challenges that families with those with severe mental illness face trying to get their loved ones into treatment with all the barriers that occur out there. Address the system of our criminal justice system that is the primary interface with too many who are facing mental health crisis as opposed to a public health system that should be there instead. Address the education system and the fact that it's not helping our kids learn how to have those coping mechanisms and those stress coping mechanisms and the social and emotional learning that we know if we empower our students with, they can live a lot healthier lives and be able to navigate all the stresses that they spoke about today. Talking about the housing and supportive housing that needs to be in place for so many who want to have a chance at recovery but can't get it because they have no stable place to live. These are the myriad and many, many more of issues that are all the same issue at the end of the day. And what we often miss in the middle is the fact that we're all fighting for the same thing, even though many of us are focused on these individual fights. And what we need to do, and we haven't always done, is have that agenda, whether it's going to the county and the mayor, or the city, or the state, or Washington, D.C., to fix those aspects of the law in order to make a difference in all of these various areas that we've been speaking about today. That is our agenda. And that means that we work together. Not when it's just our issue, but when it's part of the collective issue. So I couldn't think of anything else to say to wrap up today other than to quote, as I said at the very outset, Dr. Martin Luther King and my uncle Robert Kennedy were both killed 50 years ago. Dr. King, I think, had that inspiration that we need as we are doing what he called us to do, and that's to build a movement. It is the same movement for civil rights that he called for. It's that same movement for human rights that he fought for. And that is when he said, all of us are caught in an inescapable web of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. What affects one directly affects all indirectly. And Robert Kennedy said, each time a person stands up or acts to improve the lives of others, they send forth a tiny ripple of hope. And coming from a million centers of energy and daring, those ripples can create a wave that can knock down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. And you know, both of them weren't saying that it's up to you to solve all the problems. They were just calling you to act in the way that you're best suited to act in order to be part of that ultimate change. And we all have different missions in this struggle, but at the end of the day, we're all heading in the same direction. God bless you all, and let's keep moving on.